a great Dolby Atmos soundbar for under $300. Is that even possible? If you want a random guy with an incredibly sexy German accent to tell you if yes or no, you've come to the right place. And as you know, us Germans are very serious about literally anything, so what's not to trust, right? These are our candidates: the Sony HT-S2000, the Denon DHT-S517 and the LG S77S. The HT-S2000 is a soundbar with a 3.1 speaker configuration, so 3 front speakers and an integrated subwoofer. The Denon soundbar comes along as a 3.1.2 soundbar, so left, center, right, as well as 2 upward facing speakers and an external subwoofer. The LG is a 3.1.3 soundbar, which also includes 3 front speakers, an external subwoofer and even 3 upward facing speakers, one of which is right on the top of the soundbar. All 3 soundbars feature HDMI eARC, so you can also control the volume using your TV's remote control. Denon and LG also got an additional HDMI input for game consoles, Blu-ray players or whatever, saving you one HDMI port on your TV. Unfortunately, none of the soundbars can play audio cassettes though. By the way, if you're not familiar with terms like Dolby Atmos, HDMI eARC and 3.1.3 soundbar etc., we also created a short video about those terms. Just check the description. Oh, and we have to mention that despite the Denon soundbar usually being more expensive than the LG soundbar in the US, it's the other way around in Europe, so overall they're in the same ballpark. Before we forget, there's also remote control included with each soundbar. The Sony and LG soundbars also come with a mobile app that allows you to set different sound modes and further refine the sound. In addition to buttons for volume control and bass, at least for Sony and Denon, the remote control can be used to set specific sound modes. Sony got buttons for voice and night, Denon for movie, night and music. And LG has an EQ button and a sound mode switch button. And this is Jensen button. Let's get to the most important part and put those soundbars to the test.
Today's my birthday. You once told me that when you came back we might be the same age. And today I'm the age you were when you left. So it would be a real good time for you to come back.
The main goal of each soundbar should be simple: achieving the best possible surround sound despite the lack of physical surround speakers. All products promise room-filling sound thanks to virtual surround, especially with Dolby Atmos content. Sony calls this feature Sound Field, Denon calls it Pure and LG calls it AI Sound Pro, or something like that. First and foremost, none of the soundbars perform poorly, but there are significant differences. Sony soundbar struggled the most when it came to balancing the sound, well, obviously because it has the subwoofer built in. That's precisely why you shouldn't set the bass too high if you want to achieve a balanced sound. But overall, the sound is definitely better than your average TV speaker. The Denon soundbar makes an even better impression. The treble and mid-range are clearly separated from the bass, and when watching movies, the sound benefits from further emphasizing the separation with the dialogue enhancer feature. The resulting overall sound is very harmonious. The LG soundbar is similar. Here, with the external subwoofer being bigger than Denon's, the bass scores additional points. However, this makes the overall impression seem a little more fragmented than with the Denon soundbar. Oh, and LG's dialogue enhancer counterpart Clear Voice Pro makes everything worse. The voices are clearer, but the rest is absolute trash. Here too, it is advisable not to max out the bass, unless of course you only listen to bass-heavy music. Of course, we made sure to also check out some Dolby Atmos demo content. This already sounds very impressive on the Sony soundbar, but you can't call it surround sound at all. In this regard, the Denon soundbar outperforms Sony easily. The sound actually seems to come from the sides and from above, to a certain extent of course. LG is similar in this regard, but to be honest we expected a little bit more from the upward facing speaker in terms of dialogue clarity. All in all, it makes a lot of sense to use the virtual surround features when watching movies, perhaps tweaking the bass and treble a bit, and that's it. The app integration offered by Sony and above all the AI features offered by LG don't seem to bring any significant advantages. We found the sound field on and off setting for Sony and the cinema mode for LG to be absolutely sufficient for watching movies. Plus, as we mentioned before, maybe controlling the treble and bass directly on the respective remote control. That's all you need. The apps are more of an accessory. The so-called night mode, which reduces loud noises and amplifies quiet sounds, works quite well on all three soundbars. Well, if all manufacturers love AI features so much, we'll just have an AI create our pros and cons list as well.
Sony HT-S2000 Pros, significantly better than TV speakers. Very compact as there is no external subwoofer. Sound feel, improved sound quality. Alphanumeric display can be expanded with rear speakers and subwoofer. Cons. Weakest sound out of the three soundbars. Bass drowns out dialogue, no HDMI input, no Wi-Fi replace smart home integration. Denon DHT-S517 Pros, compact and visually appealing. Very good sense of space with virtual surround sound. External subwoofer ensures balanced sound. Clear dialogue with dialogue enhancer. HDMI input. Cons. Subwoofer not that clearly defined. Remote control not very responsive at times. And display on soundbar not very intuitive. Cannot be expanded to true 5.1 surround with rear speaker. LG S717S Pro, strongest bass integration with LG TVs can be expanded with rear speakers to true 5.1 surround Dialogue clarity not better or even worse than Denon despite a following speaker app which there was AI features unnecessary display not very intuitive.
Okay, all criticism aside, it is very impressive what we can already achieve in this price range in terms of virtual surround. If space is a particular issue for you and you can't or don't want to set up an additional subwoofer, the Sony HT-S2000 is a good choice. However, if you're okay with setting up a subwoofer, we definitely recommend a soundbar with external bass. In terms of dialogue clarity and the overall sound, we like the Denon soundbar slightly better than LG, much to our own surprise. However, when it comes to bass, the LG wins thanks to its larger subwoofer. So, to make it short, subwoofer no, Sony HT-S2000, subwoofer yes, plus the option for 5.1 surround sound, LG S77S, subwoofer yes, most balanced all-round package without surround speakers, Denon DHT-S517. You can find links to all three soundbars in the video description. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to comment. If you found the video helpful, feel free to like and subscribe to our channel. Alright, have fun with your new soundbar. We're out of here. Yeah, sure, LG, if you say so.